Next question is from Mr. J.B. Brown. I want to do the advanced version of MAPS 15 and have an easy curl bar at home, but not a straight bar. Are there any significant differences between the two types, or would I be okay using the easy curl for the exercise?
Yeah, so easy curl bar isn't going to work very well for bench press, for squats, for deadlifts, because the bar is shorter and because it's got those angles in between. You're not going to be able to place it very well on your back, like when you do squats. It's going to be hard to grab. Easy curl bars are great for curls. I prefer them over straight bars because when I supinate really hard, sometimes it doesn't feel great on my wrist. And this is probably based on morphology. Some people are okay with it, some people aren't. But that's pretty much it. Like trying to deadlift with it's a short bar. It's really short. It's not gonna be able to hold as much weight. You might be able to deadlift with it. Maybe I can't because it's too narrow.
Here's the thing.
No.
We've talked about this before. Like no exercise done safely is a bad exercise. Deadlifting, bench pressing, squat. I wouldn't recommend any of that stuff. Could you? Is it better than you doing absolutely nothing? Of course it is. I mean, for the time being, you could try and do it with these things, but then I would be asking for my birthday if somebody could get me.
I mean, doesn't it kind of remind you guys of when we had those like sand loaded like plates?
Oh, when we were kids?
Yeah, when we were kids. And then the bench was literally this wide. And we were like this. So, I mean, we tried our best to make it work. And it's not ideal, but like to be able to do all those exercises with the easy curl bar would, it's going to look silly and it's going to be uncomfortable and weird.
Imagine squatting with that. And how would you rack it? Like a squat rack won't allow you to rack it.
You wouldn't. You would have to do a weight that you could press and set down. That's what I mean. Like you could do so. You could row with it. You could press with it, even though it's going to be more like an in-close bench press. You could deadlift with it, even though you're not going to be able to load it that much, and you'd probably grab wide.
Yeah, I'll grab on the outside,
on the outside, right? So I mean, there's definitely like literally. Okay, if I was stuck in prison,
go do some housework for somebody to get
an easy curl bar. Like I would find ways to squat with it and deadlift and do stuff with it.
You could buy, and these aren't going to be the greatest,
but you can get you could get a used straight bar for cheap, dude.
Yeah. You can buy one on Amazon for $40 or $50. You're not gonna be able to load it more than 400 pounds, but this person probably isn't. So I would, I'd just do that. Go on Amazon.
Doug, what are you saying? What do we misunderstand?
So I grabbed this question and I misunderstood it. I was actually thinking about for curls, is there a difference between the easy curl bar for curls or for?
Why did you word it different than what the person put?
I don't think so. I think I just misread it. So
so read it to it. So
my question was, and the reason I was attracted to this question is curls. What's the difference between curls with an easy curl bar or a straight bar?
Yeah.
And can they be substituted?
Very, very slight difference. Very slight difference with the easy curl bar and a straight bar, and really, it's an issue of comfort. And I prefer easy curl bars again because
most people do, and a lot of that actually is the wrist mobility. Like a lot of people lack the ability to completely supinate really comfortably like that. And
with the straight bar, it
honestly
really puts pressure on
it.
it.
And the straight bar forces you to do that because how often do you completely supinate your hands? And we should be able to do that. So to me, if you choose the easy curl bar because it's easier all the time and straight bar bothers you, okay, for the time being, yes, do the easy curl bar, but that's also a flag to you that you probably should do some wrist mobility work.
So it might not be wrist mobility. There's also some morphology. So when it comes to supinating, when you look at the bicep attachment, where it attaches on the, I don't know which bone of the forearm this is, the ulna, I don't know, but where it attaches is going to dictate how much you can supinate and how much you can't.
I would never, ever tell a client that said that to me, like, okay, then let's just skip that and let's not work on your wrist mobility whatsoever. The morphology argument is like the people that try and make the morphology argument on the way they squat with their stance. There's always room to improve mobility there. And if client has an issue, cannot grab a straight bar and curl on it, the likelihood that it's their morphology that's keeping them from that. And even if it is their morphology, the likelihood that we can't make improvements by working on your wrist mobility to me is so
supination would be I don't know if you'd call that wrist mobility because the wrist isn't bending, it's the forearm that's twisting. But this one actually is quite common, which is why an easy curl bar is so popular. There are big differences in the attachment of the bicep, one of the heads of the bicep. I know I looked into this, not for me, for clients, and where it attaches, I can't remember which bone I'm referring to, But where it attaches will determine whether or not a full supination or partial supination is
well, I'm
better.
not necessarily saying that there's not a situation, just like there's not in the squatting argument that I made. There are morphologies that make a difference where people
a
can't.
squat
But
is
what
a
I've
fundamental
experienced-
movement, though.
I've experienced, yeah, you're right. But I've experienced personally myself the ability to comfortably do a straight bar curl and then to be very uncomfortable in doing it. And what I know is when I'm not putting the work in mobility wise, I struggle with doing the straight bar, and it's a little rough for me to do it. When I'm putting the work in, it's comfortable for me. It's fine. So I've had been on both sides of this fence, and so if I had a client that was I would definitely be
You do
addressing
both.
Yeah.